Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's video, we shall be looking at the anatomy of the breast. The breast can be called the mammary gland. So today's video is all about the anatomy of the what? Of the breast. So if you are coming across to my channel at the first time, endeavor to subscribe so that you get notification when I upload video on human anatomy. Without wasting much of our time, let's dive into the class. Now, the first thing is the what? Introduction. Introduction. Okay, what is breast? The breast can be called the mammary gland. It is a modified sweat gland that is situated or located at the superficial fascia of the pectoral region. So the breast is a modified sweat gland that is situated or located at the superficial fascia at the pectoral region or of the pectoral region. The breast is found in both sex. That is, it is found in both male and female. But the breast in a male is rudimentary, which means that breasts are rudimentary in male, whereas in female, it is well developed at puberty. The breast in female is well developed at what? Puberty. Whereas in male, it is what? Rudimentary in nature. You have to understand that the breast in female depict the accessory sex reproductive organ because it is an accessory sex what? Reproductive organ in female, which is used in breastfeeding the newborn babies. Get? And you have to understand that there is a clinical condition in which there could be enlargement of the breast in male, as if it's a female breast, but that is an anomaly, which is called what? Gynecomastia. As we proceed, we are going to be discussing the clinical relevancies and correlation that is associated with the what? With the breast. You get? And you have to understand again that the colors of breast in female varies according to their complexion. When a female is black or dark in color, the breast could appear dark or black in color. The same thing applicable to a fair lady or a fair female or a white female. So the complexion of the breast is usually accompanied by the complexion of the general body. That is all about the introduction of the breast. It is a modified sweat gland that is situated at the superficial fascia of the pectoral region. That is the introduction of the what? Of the breast. Get. So our next outline is shape. What is the shape of the breast? Yes. The breast is a hemispherical bulge structure. That means the shape is what? Hemispherical bulge. This hemispherical bulge. This is the shape of the breast, or conical. Or conical. So the breast is hemispherically bulged or conical in what? In shape. Get. Now the location. The what? The location. The location. Where is breast situated? Yes. Where is breast located? The breast is located at the superficial fascia of the pectoral region. You get? That is the anterior chest, the pectoral region. It is located at the superficial fascia on the pectoral region. Now, there is an extension on its superlateral part. That extension is called the axillary tail of breast or spans. Watch here. This diagram here depicts the location and also the extent of the breast, but we are still on the location. We have not gone to the extent. The location is that the breast is located at the superficial fascia of the pectoral region. But then there is an extension on the superlateral part. That extension is called the axillary tail of what? Spans or breast. Here, is the axillary tail of breast. The axillary tail of breast. This is the axillary tail of spans or breast. Okay? Now, because this extension is called the axillary what? Tail of spans breast. You get? It is an extension that pierces the deep fascia to communicate or to enter through the axilla. So that means apart from the lymph node you get and the vasculatures in the axilla and the breast, there is a true connection between the breast and the axilla. That is the what? The axillary tail of what? Of spans. You get? It is an extension on the spirolateral part of the breast through which it pierces the deep fascia to enter the what? The axilla. You can see here is the axilla. This is the breast. So there is a connection between the breast and the axilla, and that is what? The axillary tail of spans. It is an extension that is located on the superior lateral aspect of the what? The breast, which pierces the deep fascia to enter the what? The axilla. But then it does not just pierce the deep fascia, it passes through a foramen, an aperture. That aperture or a foramen is called what? The foramen of Langer. The foramen of what? Langer. Now watch this diagram. Watch this diagram. This is still the axillary tail of spans. Now there is an aperture or a foramen through which the axillary tail of spans pierces the deep fascia to enter the axilla. You get? That aperture is called the foramen of Langer. Now this red circular marking is the foramen of Langer. The foramen of Langer is an aperture through which the axillary tail of what? Of spans or breast pierces the deep fascia in the pectoral region to enter the what? The axilla. You get? That is all about the axillary tail of spans piercing the deep fascia at the pectoral region to communicate to the what? To the axilla. So that is how it is being what? Is being fashioned. Now you have to understand that the breast has a quadrant. Yeah, there are quadrants of the breast. The 4 quadrants of the breast. The next outline is the quadrant. Quadrant of the breast. Yes, breast has quadrants. Yeah. Now watch. Here is the upper lateral quadrant, the upper medial quadrant, the lower lateral quadrant, and the lower medial quadrant. These quadrants are used during surgery, you get, to indicate some structures. You get. So that is all about the quadrant of the what? Of the breast. That means you could deduce that the axillary tail of spans is located at the what? At the upper lateral quadrant of the breast. That is why it is called an extension on the superolateral aspect of the what? Of the breast, called the axillary tail of spans, which pierces the deep fascia by passing through the foramen of Langer to communicate to the axilla. That is all about the axillary tail of spans and also the quadrant of the what? The breast. The next we shall be discussing are the extent of the breast. The extent. Yes, it has an extent. Yeah. What are the extent of the breast? The breast has 2 extent. It has what? 2 extent. The horizontal extent and the vertical extent. Have the vertical extent and horizontal extent. Now watch. Recall that I said previously that this diagram depicts the what? the location of the breast and the extent. Now see it here. Vertically, the breast extends from the second rib to the sixth rib. That is why in medical school, breast can be communicated as 2 to 6. If you don't want to call it breast, you can call it what 2 to 6. So a medical student have understood that yes, you are referring to the breast because it depicts the extent of the breast, the vertical extent of the what? The breast. So vertically, the breast extends from the second to the sixth rib. So we have our second rib, and here is our sixth rib. That is the vertical extent of the what? The breast, vertically. Now, the horizontal extent, it extends from the lateral border of the sternum. The lateral border of the sternum, because the sternum has medial and lateral borders. Do we get? So, it extends from the lateral border of the sternum to the mid-axillary line. That means this is the horizontal extent. This is the what? The vertical extent. You get? Vertically, I mean, horizontally, it extends from the lateral border of the sternum to the mid-axillary line. So here is the lateral border of the sternum. The lateral border of the sternum to the mid-axillary line. You have to understand that the mid-axillary line is one of the what? Imaginary surface lines of the body. They are imaginary line, you get. And the anterior and posterior axillary fold, the mid-axillary line transverses between them, you get. We have the anterior axillary fold and the posterior axillary fold. In between the anterior axillary fold and posterior axillary fold lies the mid-axillary line. It is an imaginary line which is used to study the surface anatomy of the body, you get. So the horizontal extent of the breast is from the lateral border of the sternum to the what? Mid-axillary line. Recall that we also have other surface lines, the surface imaginary lines of the body. The mid-axillary line, the mid-clavicular line, the mid-sternal line. We also have the paravertebral line at the posterior back. So that is all about the horizontal extent of the what? Of the breast. The horizontal extent of the what? Of the breast, you get. So above all, here remains our areola. This is our nipple. Get? Here remains our areola. This is our nipple. Now let's proceed. The next outline is the structure of the breast. Structure of the breast. Yeah. The breast has what? Structures. And the structure of the breast is formed by the following components. You have the skin. We have the stroma. We have the parenchyma. This forms the structure of the breast. This forms the what? The structure of the what? The breast. Now let's start with the skin. We'll be discussing the skin. The skin of the breast is the outer covering of the breast. You get it is divided into two parts: the nipple and the areola. We'll have our skin. We have our skin. We have under skin, we have the nipple and areola. Now watch. Because that I said that the skin is the outer covering of the breast. You get is the what? Outer covering of the what? The breast. Now the nipple. The nipple. Here is the nipple. This is the nipple. The nipple. Now, what is the nipple? The nipple is the conical shaped projection that is located below the base of the breast. You get? It is located below the base of the breast. It is the conical shaped projection that is located below the base of the breast. And the nipple has smooth muscle fibers. The nipple has what? Smooth muscle fibers, which makes it to become stiff and erect. You get? And even flattened during what? Its activity. So it is the presence of those smooth muscle fibers in the breast, in the nipple, that makes it to become erect, flattened, you get, and also stiff during its activities, you get. And you have to understand again that the nipple have numerous sensory nerve endings which stimulate it during tactile stimulation or make it to become erect during sexual arousal. You get? That is all the components of the nipple. The nipple is the most sensitive part of the what? Of the breast, because of its numerous sensory nerve endings. You get? And it is always what? Erect during sexual arousal. That is the what? The component or the information that's located on the what? On the nipple. The next is the areola. The next is the what? The areola. Now, what is the areola? Watch. This is the areola. Here is the areola. This is the what? Areola. Now, you have to understand that the areola is a dark pigmented circular area that is located what? Or surrounded the nipple. Watch. This is the areola. It is a dark pigmented circular area that surrounds the nipple. You get? Now, the areola is composed of modified sebaceous glands. It is composed of modified sebaceous gland. What is the work of that sebaceous gland? The work of that sebaceous gland is to secrete oil. Yes, the sebaceous gland aids in oil secretion, which helps to lubricate the nipple and the areola itself to avoid drying and cracking. You have to understand again that, yes, that the areola, you get, has its complexion, but the complexion of the areola varies according to the complexion of the female, you get. And the areola is usually dark and enlarged during pregnancy. That is an important notification, you get. The areola is usually what? Dark and what? And enlarged during what? Pregnancy. So that is all about the nipple and the areola, you get. Now let's delve to the stroma. The stroma. Yeah. What is the stroma? The stroma of the breast. The stroma of the breast consists of the connective tissue and fat. It consists of the what? Connective tissue and fat. Now watch. Watch this diagram. Here is the fat. Fat, you recall that fat appears yellow. Now this is the fat. This is the fat. It consists of the connective tissue and what? And fat. And the stroma form the supporting framework of the breast. I will call it the skeleton of the breast. Yeah, it forms the what? The supporting framework of the breast. Now, the connective tissue of the stroma condenses to form a fibrous strand or a septa called the suspensory ligament of copper. Now, what? These are the suspensory ligament of what? Of copper. Ligament of copper. The suspensory what? Ligament of copper. You get, because those connective tissues of the stroma condenses to form a fibrous band, strand or a septa called a suspensory ligament of copper. Recall that the stroma also contains the what? The fat. You get. So that is all about the stroma. The next is the parenchyma. The parenchyma. Now, the parenchyma of the breast can be called the glandular tissue. The glandular tissue, you get. It is concerned with the secretion of milk of the breast, you get. And they are made up of 15 to 20 lobes. 15 to 20 lobes. Now, as you can see, they are made up of the what? 15 to 20 lobes of breast, 15 to 20 lobes. 15 to 20 lobes. You get. And these lobes of the breast are arranged in a radial fashion. That is why if a surgeon is trying to give an incision in the breast, he does not give incision anyhow. The incisions are made radially to avoid giving a lesion or damaging the lobes of the breast, even the latiferous dot. Now pay attention. Those lobes are being drained by the latiferous dot. They are being drained by the what? By the latiferous dot. Here is the latiferous what? Dot. This is the latiferous what? Dot. They are being drained by the latiferous dot. Latiferous dot. They are being drained by the latiferous what? Duct. You get. And the latiferous dot converges to the nipple side. Here, all of them are nipple. They are nipple. The latiferous dot converges to itself to the what? To the nipple. You get. Where it opens into the latiferous sinuses, which is where the milk is stored until what? Lactation. Now, this is the lactiferous sinuses. Lactiferous sinuses. The lactiferous what? Sinus. Okay. It is where milk is stored until what? Lactation. You get. So that is all about the parenchyma. Parenchyma is the major breast because it contains what that secretes milk. But you have to understand that it is not the parenchyma that secretes milk itself. There is a hormone which is called prolactin secreted from the pituitary gland. You get. So the milk secretion is a hormonal activity. It is a hormonal activity by the prolactin, which is secreted from the pituitary gland. You get. So that is all about the what? The parenchyma. The next we shall be discussing is the relation. Yeah, the relation. The relation. But before we dive into the relation, okay. Now we have the relation. Let's discuss it. So proceed. The relation. Now, the breast has a relation, and the relation of the breast is arranged from superficial to deep aspects. They are arranged from what? Superficial to deep aspect. What are the relation of the breast? It has what? Two relations. You get the pectoral fascia and three muscles. One is pectoral fascia. One is pectoral fascia. Two is three muscles. Now, the pectoral fascia of the breast, you get, is a deep fascia, you get, that covers the anterior aspect of the pectoralis major muscle. You get. That is the pectoral fascia, and is a strong fascia which is found on the anterior chest, the pectoral region. So it is a strong fascia or a deep fascia which covers the anterior aspect of the what? Of the pectoralis major muscle. Now watch. This is the pectoral fascia. This green marker depicts the pectoral what? Fascia. So we have our pectoral fascia. Pectoral fascia. Recall that this is the pectoralis major muscle. Major muscle. These are the muscles that forms the anterior wall of the axilla. You get? Yes. The anterior what? Wall of the axilla. This remains the clavicle. The clavicle. This remains the subclavius. The subclavius. You get? This is the pectoralis minor muscle. This remains the chest wall. Chest wall are composed of the ribs and the intercostal muscles found on the intercostal spaces. The chest wall, the chest wall. This is our breast. Our breast. Recall that this and this is the clavipectoral fascia. Yes, this and this is the clavipectoral fascia. Clavipectoral fascia. You get. So the pectoral fascia is a deep fascia which covers the anterior aspect of the pectoralis major muscle. You can see its anterior aspect. This is the what? Posterior aspect. Now, important to note, you get. Recall that there is a space that separates the breast from the pectoral fascia. That space is called the retromammary space. The retromammary space is a space that separates the what? The breast from the pectoral fascia. But that space is composed of the loose areolar tissue. It is the component of the loose areolar tissue that is found on this space called the retromammary space that makes the breast to become mobile. You get? It is the loose areolar tissue that is found on the retromammary space that makes the breast to become mobile on the anterior chest. That is why the breast can move sideways or move in any direction, because of the loose areolar tissue that is found on the retromammary space, which separate the breast from the what? The pectoral fascia. So this is the retromammary space. The retromammary space is a space which separates the what? The breast from the pectoral fascia, and that space is composed of loose areolar tissue, which makes the breast to become mobile on the pectoral region. So that is all about the pectoral fascia. Get. The next we shall be discussing is the three muscles. The what? The three muscles. Now watch here. Here still remain our pectoral fascia. This is our pectoralis major muscle. This remains our clavicle. Okay. Now, we want to discuss the three muscles, which is the next relation of the what? Of the breast. Now, watch. This diagram depicts the relation of the what? Of the breast. And we have three muscles that does that. One is the pectoralis major muscle. Here is the pectoralis major muscle. Major muscle. This is the external oblique muscle. Why this is the serratus anterior muscle. So these are the three muscles that forms the next relation of the what? Of the breast. The deep relations of the what? Of the breast. You have the pectoralis major muscle, the serratus anterior muscle, and the external oblique what? Muscle. So that is how it is being what? Done. You get? So now the next outline which I'm discussing on is the what? The blood supply. The blood supply. The blood supply. Now, breast is fully a vascular structure. It's been supplied by numerous blood vessels. You get? One is the axillary artery. Axillary artery. That is one. Two is the internal thoracic artery or mammary artery. Thoracic artery. Three is the posterior intercostal arteries. So we have the axillary artery, axillary arteries, the internal thoracic artery, which can be called the mammary artery. You have the posterior intercostal artery. These are the three arteries that supply to the breast. Now watch this diagram. Take a good look at this diagram. This diagram depicts the blood supply of the breast. Blood supply of the breast. Depict the what? The blood supply of the breast. Blood supply of the what? Of the breast. Now, this arterial stem is the axillary artery. The what? The axillary artery. The axillary artery. Now, there is a branch of the axillary artery that supply to the breast. Recall that the axillary artery is divided into three parts by the pectoralis minor muscle. The first part has one artery, second part has two arteries, third part has three arteries. Now, here is the first part of the axillary artery, which is called the superior thoracic artery. The superior thoracic artery. Now, this is the branch from the second part, which is called the acromiothoracic artery or thoracoacromial artery. Now, this is the branch from the second part as well, which is called the lateral thoracic artery. Now, so these are the branches from the axillary artery. The next branch is the internal thoracic artery. It is the perforating branch of the internal thoracic artery that supply to the breast. We call them the perforating branch, which is second, third, and fourth perforating branches of the internal thoracic artery. It pierces the deep fascia to supply to the breast. We call them the second, third, fourth perforating branches of the internal thoracic artery. Okay, we have here perforating branches of internal thoracic artery. That is second to fourth branch. Yeah, the 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. You get second to fourth what? perforating branches of the internal thoracic artery supply to the breast. The next is the posterior intercostal arteries. Watch, these are the posterior intercostal artery, but it is particularly the lateral branch of the posterior intercostal artery. The lateral branch of posterior intercostal artery. So these are the blood supply of the what? Of the breast. Yes. So the next we shall be discussing are the venous drainage, the venous supply. The venous what? Supply. The venous supply. The venous supply is the axillary vein, axillary vein. Number two, we have the internal thoracic vein. Number three, we have the posterior intercostal vein. So these are the venous supply of the what? The breast. The next is the lymphatic drainage. The lymphatic drainage. Now, the breast is drained by so many lymphatic channels. It is being drained by so many lymphatic what? Channels. Number one is the axillary group of lymph nodes. Axillary lymph. Axillary lymph node. Number two, we have the internal thoracic lymph node. You get the internal thoracic lymph node. Lymph node. Number three, you have the supraclavicular lymph node. Supraclavicular lymph node. Number four, we have the posterior intercostal lymph node. Posterior intercostal lymph. Number five, we have the delta pectoral lymph node or the cephalic lymph node. Cephalic or delta pectoral lymph node. So these are the five group of lymph nodes that drains in the what? In the breast. But it is not all. We have other lymphatic channels. Now, important to note, all these lymph nodes of the breast drains into the subdiaphragmatic and subperitoneal lymph plexus. That is where they drains into. All these five. And the most abundant group of lymph nodes that drains in the breast is the axillary group of lymph nodes. You get the what? Axillary group of what? Lymph node, seconded by the posterior intercostal lymph node, and lastly by the internal thoracic what? Lymph node. So those are the lymph node of the breast. But important to note, we still have the superficial and deep lymphatics of the breast. The superficial and what? Deep lymphatics of the breast. Superficial and what? Deep lymphatics of the breast. You have superficial and deep lymphatics of the what? Of the breast. Superficial lymphatics and what? Deep lymphatics. Now, superficial lymphatics drains to the what? The skin only, the skin of the breast. It does not drain into the areola or the nipple or the parenchyma. Whereas the deep lymphatics drains into the what? The areola, the nipple, and the parenchyma. But then there is a plexus that drains in the areola, which is called the subareolar plexus of Sapé. Yeah, the subareolar plexus of what? Sapé, which drains into the anterior axillary group of lymph nodes. You get? That is where it drains into. So it is a deep lymphatics of the breast, which drains in the areola, thereby finally draining into the anterior axillary group of lymph node. We call it the subareolar plexus of Sapé. Okay, let me state it. See it here. Subareolar plexus of Sapé. So that is it. Now, the next we shall be discussing is the what? Is the nerve supply. The nerve supply. The nerve supply. The nerve supply of the breast is that the breast is a purely somatosensory structure. Yes, it is sensitive to stimulus. It is somatosensory. That is why it is being innervated by second to sixth intercostal nerve through its anterior and lateral cutaneous branch, which supply to the skin, and also provide autonomic what? Fibers to the smooth muscles of the breast and the blood vessels. You get that? That means the breast is supplied by second to sixth intercostal nerve through the anterior and lateral cutaneous branch. You get? So that is it. Second to sixth intercostal nerve through the anterior and lateral cutaneous what? Branch. Now that is all about this. Okay, let's delve into the what? The clinical relevance of the breast. Clinical relevance of the breast. Clinical relevance. Number one is breast CA. Breast CA, which is breast carcinoma. Yes, breast carcinoma is the cancer of the breast. You get? Yeah, this is the what? The cancer state of the breast. And once breast cancer affects the breast, it is usually fatal to the breast tissues. You get? It could be caused by a lump, but not all lump indicate breast CA. But at least that is the first stage. Okay, that is number one. Number two is lump. Lump is a growth on the breast. You get? It is a growth on the breast. It is not considered what? Malignant. Unless being left, it could be what? It could become a malignant growth. But at first stage, it is what? It is a benign growth. So lump is a growth on the breast, which could be painless or it could be painful. Number three is metastatic breast CA. This metastatic breast CA is when breast cancer, you get, when those cancer cells of the breast deviate from the breast to another region, thereby causing harm to the tissue where it is lodged. Now, breast CA or metastatic breast cancer could lead to brain damage because those breast cancer cells could flow through the what? Through the veins, such as the posterior intercostal vein. They could flow from the posterior intercostal vein to the what? Vertebral venous what? Network. From the vertebral venous network, it could flow into the what? Intracranial dural venous sinuses, thereby affecting the brain. That means breast CA poses a risk factor to a brain damaged. Breast metastatic CA, please, not breast CA. Metastatic breast CA poses a risk factor to what? To brain damage. The number four is gynecomastia. Gynecomastia simply means the abnormal growth of breast in male. You get? Is a threat. Abnormal growth of breast in male. Number 5 is mastitis. Mastitis, it simply means the inflammation of the breast. You get? When breast becomes what? Inflamed. Okay? Number 6, we have amastia. Amastia simply means the absence of breast in female. The absence of what? Breast. Number 7, we have polymastia. Polymastia simply means numerous breast or supranumerary what? Breast. You get? When there is numerous what? Breast on the breast lines. When it becomes numerous, we call it what? Polymastia. Now, number 8, we have atelia. Atelia. Atelia simply means the absence of nipple in a breast. Number 9, we have polyatelia simply means what? Numerous nipples. When you have numerous what? Nipple, more than one nipple, we call it what? Polyatelia. You get? Now we have another one. Okay. We have number 10. Number 10 is during incision. Incision on the breast are made radially to avoid the cutting of the latiferous what? Dot in the breast. Now, number 11 here, number 11, we have said number 10 orally. Now, number 11, we have what? Powder orange appearance. Powder orange appearance. Yeah, powder orange appearance indicate what? Breast CA. Yes, it indicates breast CA. Number 12, we have inverted nipple. Inverted nipple indicate what? Breast CA. It is a concern for the health of the breast. It's a concern. Okay? So, number 13, we have mammography or mammogram. Mammogram is used to view the internal structures of the breast during breast examination or breast assessment. So that is it. I believe we have done justice to the anatomy of the breast from the introduction to the clinical relevance. I want to thank you so much for staying to the end of this class and able to share it so that students will benefit from it. You get? It is a very detailed class from the introduction to the clinical relevance. You get? Thank you so much for watching.